I believe that men and women have real questions in regards to real issues that they're facing in the area of their sexuality. The number one and number two cause of divorce are money and sex. The church has an opportunity here to step in and be a part of the questions, to be a part of helping people navigate this area of their lives.
The church has been notorious in the past for separating out sexuality from spirituality. Sex is silent and secret, but let's be holy, and let's talk about things of God, and let's play church. It's important to talk about sexuality in the church if we're really about the business of changing lives. It is rampant, the amount of people that come in and are honest about how their sexual behavior has hijacked their life and their healing and their wholeness. If we don't talk honestly about it, we don't move forward towards wholeness, which is what I believe God would have us do.
Among Christian men, I think, who grow up in the church, they're given the message, just make it. Make it to the wedding night, white knuckle your way through the dark alleyways of lust, and then get married. And then, woo, finish line. And what I've found in my own life and talking to other people is that that's where you primarily start hitting the sexual dysfunction that has happened, even in our own minds. And so to talk openly and honestly about what God has designed for us in an ever-expanding way in terms of our sexuality in a holy way is I think, a desperate need.
I think so often we think sexuality is just about sex, when sexuality is about who we are as men and women and how we relate to one another. I think the church is overwhelmed with the devastation that disordered sexuality is causing in our congregations. And pastors are wondering, where do I go? How do I get answers? Truessence is about providing a voice that speaks directly to some of the deep questions that people have. Everyone has them. We all have them. But deep down, are we willing to begin a dialogue with people?
I can't overestimate how much holy sexuality has shifted my view, not just of our relationship, but of the male-female relationship in general. And I think the big shift that took place is the necessity of both, that it's not about trying to change the other, but to, in all relationships, come up underneath the other person in the way that God has designed us, male and female.
My perception of sex has definitely changed, and I think I feel freedom to just really enjoy and have fun. There's just such lovely freedom in that. Holy sexuality has impacted my image of myself, profoundly, on every level. From body image to what does it mean to be a woman, to what's my place in this world. I think it has stretched me in every area. It has expanded my view of God, because I think in getting glimpses of who I really am, I'm getting bigger glimpses of who He is and who He made us to be.
Holy sexuality has affected me and my relationship with God. Intimacy has always been a difficult thing for me. When I started reaching out to God for help and understanding how He created woman and how special we are in His eyes, I started to look at myself differently. It's so much better, and it continues to grow.
The workshop gave me a platform to be able to talk to my kids, the differences between men and women and where they store intimate relationships and experiences. It clicked for me. That's the message my daughter needs to hear.
Teaching holy sexuality in a major Christian university, I've seen a lot of students come into a great degree of health and freedom as a result of hearing some of this material and interacting with it.
With my family members, my father and my brothers, as well as friends who are males, I've been able to understand how their mind works in a very different way than my mind works.
As a college student in this stage of life, it's really good to acquire a biblical basis for our gender differences. Having an understanding of those differences will be so beneficial in my future relationship with a girlfriend or a wife, and being comfortable with those differences rather than building up walls between us.
I continue to be amazed how simple truths that are embedded in Scripture, once they're partnered with people's real questions, create this incredible freedom for people to experience the fullness of their sexuality and their spirituality by God's true design.
She has a way of demystifying and diffusing the information and bringing in a clear understanding of the male and female differences, as well as she wraps that whole thing up in God's beautiful design for sex within marriage. And now, as a therapist, you've brought in the spiritual aspect, and so I can now work with my clients from that dimension. And that's the place where the true healing begins, that God can go to the deepest places.
I really think this workshop needs to be in every school and every church. It should be mandatory before marriage.
What if we were to invite people to live in the potential power that their sexuality has to transform their lives and their faith? What if we lived in the tension of what God has created as good, and we dared to believe that it would transform the communities we live in? What if?